All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Excellence with your main man, Eric Schwafel. I hope that you're having a great day today. So if you've been here before, you know what we do. We give you the keys to unlocking excellence, whether that be from somebody else or myself. What I'm here to do is serve and to help you get to that next level, if that's what you want to do. And today I have a special guest. We've been working together for a while, and I can't wait to have this conversation, to hear her insight and recount her story. Esther, what is going on? How are you doing today?
Hello, Eric. I am doing fabulous. And it is really fun to be here. Anxious and fun all at the same time.
I know, right? When the podcast happens, it's like, oh, how is it going to go? How is it going to be?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're taking this leap, that you made it here. I'm so excited about the conversation and everything like that. So is there anything that you want to mention? Well, hold on. Let me introduce you and talk about our history real quick, and
Okay.
then we can go from there. So y'all, Esther and I, we met each other at a networking group a while back, 5, maybe even 6 years ago, because I started with the online training
Oh, yeah.
first before I did the park stuff. And from there, her husband and she trusted me enough with their bodies. And what I mean by that is the fitness, right? With fitness and with working out, because when I started the gym, when I started my business, I was in the parks. I would work out in the parks and I'd go to people's houses. So we started with boot camps there for a while. And then once I got into the gym, y'all have been, I want to say, my longest standing clients too.
True.
So
True.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild, man. So thank you. I appreciate that time and the trust and the opportunity and all that. What has your experience with the fitness and that whole world and everything like that been like? Today we're going to talk more about the mindset stuff, but of course, what have you noticed being more active all these years and essentially putting your health first?
Oh, God. If it wasn't for being active, I think I personally would have some sort of sickness or activity is everything. Being active, being able to do all these things, it's just everything. We started off in the dirt with Eric. I was in the dirt in
Yeah,
the summer. It was hot and
yeah,
dirty. We had a good time with lots of other people, and he had us doing all these um, body weight exercises. And I didn't know about any of this. I hadn't worked out really in a gym for a couple of years. And
yeah.
then, so we're out in the dirt on our mats and we do jumping jacks. And I think I killed my legs right off the bat. And it's like, okay, if it doesn't get better in a week, I got to go to a hospital or something. But so we made it through the
It got
pain.
better. It got
It
better.
got better. And then I noticed that my balance was improving because you had us do things like lunges
Yes.
and planks in the dirt, in
Yes.
the heat, on the mat. And
Yeah.
I had seen someone in a gym do a plank and thought, oh my God, what are they doing? I don't even know what this thing is. And then I got to do it. And it was like, okay, this is great. This is fun. I'm probably going to get stronger from this. It kind of hurts. I think I hate it right now, but we just keep with it, as
You just
long
got to
as
keep
I'm not,
going through it.
yeah, as long as you're not in the hospital. And so to be honest, we're the oldest ones you have, probably in your
Yeah.
exercise group, you
Yeah.
know? So, and we stuck it out all these years. We've stuck to it, Eric. And by sticking to it, by being consistent and showing up, you're only going to get better. This is not
Hell
about
yeah.
getting worse,
Oh yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
So it's been challenging, it's been invigorating. That's a good word.
Yes.
Exercise is a great thing for your brain.
Yes.
And for all of these other things, it just it's just it just keeps us going. Eric, put it on hold, pause it. I got to talk to a contractor.
Gotcha.
Okay. I gotta he
All right. So you mentioned planks, Esther. We had a quick little interruption, y'all, but we're back. So you mentioned these exercising, working out in the dirt, sticking with it, being the most well, the longest standing clients and committed and consistent through it. There's something that I do with my clients, y'all, and that is we do planks on Thursdays. And Esther is among three, maybe four people who have done a 4-minute plank or more, right? Five, six, seven, or eight, depends on the day.
Five.
Over 100 times. I want to say you're at 119,
No,
120.
no, I'm up in the 140s. Yeah.
140s. Oh, excuse me.
Right.
Excuse me. I had to get this. One in the 140s. So y'all, she has done a 4-minute plank or more or longer over 140 freaking times from being in the dirt, right, until where we're at now. So that's amazing, I think. So congrats to you, because most people
Well,
haven't
thank
done a
you.
40-minute plank, a 4-minute plank in their life.
No, no, I never ever thought about a 4-minute plank in my life, Eric. See one, do one, to experience the 4-minute plank, I'm amazed that I can do something like that, that my body allows me, my body and my brain, because you can talk yourself out of this very easily,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you do it and time passes and then it's done and like, great,
And what's
yeah,
interesting about that too is you've been doing it for years. It's not
for
just like it's,
years.
yes,
And
yeah,
I bet I can do it for the rest of my life if I just keep at it.
right. Yes, you can.
Like, I'm 95 years old and I can do a freaking plank. Like, how weird would that be?
That
You
would be
know?
pretty weird, and it'd be pretty awesome at the same time.
And we'll get it on a video and you can podcast it.
Oh, yes, that would be
You have an
amazing.
exciting outfit on too.
Yes, yes, that'd be great. So, so we got that would be something, huh? To see a 95-year-old in like a evil
Hey,
Knievel outfit doing planks. Like, what the hell are you doing with your life? I'm doing planks.
right. I'm hot. I'm 95. I can plank,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's what we need right now. Okay, so you've been getting your fitness and your body in shape, and then even before we were working out, you were noticing these differences in nutrition. Could you briefly speak about the insights and the learnings that you've had around nutrition in your body, right? Because this is stuff that you ended up encountering on your own and learning on your own.
Oh yeah. So, but my time with you, the learnings accelerated with nutrition. But so we came to work out with you in 2017, and in 2016, through certain things that had happened, it occurred to me that I just wanted to make a change. I said, I want to change something. I said, oh, I can change my body.
Yeah.
So I decided to drop all the carbs and drop all the grains. And voila, it made a huge difference. The weight it just fell off. I think I lost like 50 pounds in that year or something like that.
Wow.
It was huge. But there was also another thing that I did not realize that would happen. So I started that in January. I'd say around October, Willis said, hey, you're not having any migraine headaches anymore. And I said, well, sure enough,
That's
all
it.
of that went away. All of that went away with just a change in nutrition. There might have been some spirituality and other things going on, but so many things happened just because I said I wanted a change in myself. It just set something in motion. And it felt, and I think it worked so perfectly because there was a certain innocence and naivete at the time, like, oh, I want to make a change. Gee, the easiest thing to change is myself. And then
Mm,
it
mm,
started and it became unstoppable
mm,
because the weight just fell off. Things changed. And it was like, wow. And I've carried that forward. I don't get headaches anymore. I
mm,
still stick to low carbs and mostly no grains, but there should have been a time if it was like you were going to get a headache because you ate some stupid junk. No, headaches just don't show up. So something opened up and it stayed open. Something changed in me so
mm.
much for the better.
All right, I'm saying this louder for people in the back. The easiest thing to change was herself. That's what she
Yeah.
said. She said the easiest thing,
It,
or the first thing, if I didn't get the words right, right? And
yeah,
with
uh,
that decision, it just sank, right? It went all the way, it seems, into the cells. And
it did. It did things that I didn't even know were going to happen.
mm, that's
I think I
amazing.
had set an intent that I didn't even know what I was doing. It was sort of, I don't know, the innocence, the like didn't even know I had the passion. Just that, like, boom, and it took.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's what people need, right? It's like I've seen tons of motivational speakers say like you need to decide, you need to make the choice, right? And once you make the choice, once you decide, everything goes from there. And people are like, "Oh, I made the decision," but it's not a deep decision that was made. It wasn't a decision that was made like for the good of the person. It was made for maybe from an ego space. What you ended up doing, you're like, I'm tired of this. I'm about to move forward. It's going to happen. This is the way that we're doing things. So nutrition hit, the physical hit. What other changes did you notice during that time, right? If
That
any
early,
came in.
yeah, that early time, it was just, I was amazed by like the physical changes that were happening, uh, mental changes, all of those things, because once you're not experiencing things like pain on a continual basis anymore due to migraine headaches, your
Mm,
body like, wow, look at this, look at what's going on, you know. So all of those, and it I guess it laid into like, okay, this is happening, I want more out of this. And that's when you came about and the exercise started to come about. So all the pieces were put into motion, you know, and I knew, actually, okay, here's, you know, this is a breakthrough moment for you, Eric. I knew you were going to come. I just didn't know when.
mm,
I knew it.
hmm.
Yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
that, like somebody for exercise, you mean? Or
Yeah. There was going to be this person in mine, Willis's life too, that would um, be a coach for us, open the world of exercise for us and nutrition and all things positive that had to do with working with your body. I knew this was going to happen.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you told me that before.
See, I
Oh,
don't
that's
know, but
crazy.
there you
Interesting.
go.
Man,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So you went with the nutrition, and then you knew that somebody was
Mm-hmm.
going to come along for the
Mm-hmm.
body, and somebody came along for the
Mm-hmm.
body, and then
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
started
I
doing your
guess
thing.
I think I had been setting intents all along and just didn't know it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the deep intent work. And I never thought of it that way. It was just the way it was. That's how I did things. Yeah. Yeah. And it falls into place. Life falls into place. And yeah, you gave us so much information about nutrition. You had the PN coaching thing. Remember that in the beginning? And that gave like a whole lot of information. If you knew things about nutrition before, it filled in a lot of holes. Very, very supportive, gave us ways of habits that had to do with eating and nutrition, lots of learning. So you're just not like a trainer. Do these exercises, move your legs, jump around, do this, do that. No, 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 no. You're going to work on is whether we want to be worked on or not. And if you can't hang, you're leaving, you know.
You
Yeah.
just hit the nail on the head right there. You just hit the nail on the head.
I mean, you know, we stay because we want to stay.
Yes.
That's it. You know, you're
Oh,
it's different. It's special. That's the good word. Special.
oh, thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
It's coaching. It's not yeah, go do some planks or go, you know, lift your weights, do that. No, 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 no. No. No.
Good.
This is an entirely different experience. Yeah.
Good. Because I remember at one point or another with personal training, I discovered, and I didn't realize this when I first got into it, but personal training and group training in and of itself can create codependency between trainer and client, or at least the dominant submissive is how I like to call it relationship. And that's not how I operate. I've always operated, okay, you're here, I'm here. What are we going to do together? You know, like
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
let's let's do this thing together instead of you just listen to me, because as soon as I F up, you know, like there's going to be a problem here. Yeah, we can rectify it, but that doesn't mean that I always want to lead or do this or that. And that's very different, right? Than like you need me, I need you, we need to work together. If we don't work together, it's not going to happen. And that
No, you
neediness,
hold those. There's accountability in what we do. It's like
yes,
you're give us guidance. These are the routines. This is the way I do it. But everybody starts with whatever you got. I'm older than a lot of you people. Your people. They're going to lift more weight, heavier weight than I can, but I hang and I can
thank
do the
you.
work. I might be at a different level, but I can do the work and I stick to it. So it teaches you what accountability to yourself is,
Yes.
trust in yourself, you believe in yourself. You help motivate us, but you instill the motivation in us.
Yes.
That kind of thing. That's what doing this exercise stuff is all about. Being active. There's so many benefits from being active as we get older. I mean, I didn't even know I had shitty balance, like how shitty was my balance, So we're out in the dirt, in the park, hanging on a fence post. So was Willis. And what we were doing? Lunges off the fence post because I couldn't stand up straight and do the lunge.
Yeah,
But that soon went away and we could lunge across the room back and forth, 4 to 6 room lengths, and do my thing. Yeah. I couldn't do that before. Didn't even think about doing it before.
Oh, yeah.
So my body is able to do things that I didn't even know it could do. And on the other hand, it was like, oh, that's where I am. How did that happen? Can't do this, or this is different. But you start or work with what you got. And even if it's little bitty baby steps, you can get improvement. Mm-hmm. The only thing you don't want to do is give up. Don't give up. No, never give up.
Never give up. Don't do it.
No.
There was one that so there's been insights that I've gotten that you've given throughout all the years that we've been together. The one that stands out, one of the ones that stand out and that I have used over and over, and you don't know how many people you've affected by these words. You don't know what you can't do until you can't do it anymore. And the reference for that was getting on and off the ground, because there was something that was happening, we were doing, and you could do it. And at one point you couldn't do it. And you said, you don't know what you can't do until you can't do it anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when that would happen, I would say to myself, at what point in my younger life could I do this? It's not like you're taking notes at 30 years old. Yeah, I can do this, this, and that. 40, whatever. So you don't know unless you're, I don't know, exercising all of, I don't know. But at some point, things have changed. You're not aware of that change. You go to do it. It's like, what's up? How come, body? What's the deal? And so you got to start at that point, figure things out, accept yourself where you are, be kind to yourself, say thank you, body, for all the things that you've supported me through all my life. I am healthy. None of this. I used to say mean things to my body. That's a big thing. I used to say mean things to myself a lot. Where you don't like yourself, you say the mean things, you look at the mirror, you say mean things. No, that's bullshit. I don't go there anymore. Totally does not serve me, and it doesn't serve anybody else to do that. No.
And that was one of the insights. We'll get into it a little bit later, but that was one of the insights that I got from our mindset work together, was talking to the body and allowing the body to release as you talk, and to get this relationship with yourself better. So like, that's one of the things that you're touching on right now. So self-talk, it started switching up. You started changing it over all completely.
Yeah. Negative self-talk. You can't say, oh, it's totally gone, because everybody's full of it. If they say that, it's pretty much all gone. Like, I don't delve into, like, I have to be real down and low and feeling to go there. Yeah. And then if you go there, you say, well, what good is this? I don't do this anymore. I'm changing it. That's not me. No.
Hell yeah.
No. So I have changed. I think when you're making me think about this, I've changed more than I think I've changed.
Ooh.
See that? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So are there any examples that pop into the head of how you've changed more than you think you've changed right now?
Well, okay. We could start on all, like, physically. I could say I am physically stronger. Yeah. My body, I would say, looks different because I have developed some muscle mass more than I used to have.
Yes, that's true.
And then, but I think differently about food.
Yes.
I don't. Okay. So here's a good one. I don't use food to hurt myself anymore.
Oh, that is a
I'm
good
admitting
one.
it. I'm admitting it. So that's called, I guess you'd call that emotional eating or
Yeah,
hurtful
that's a
eating.
good one.
I don't want to say that I never engage in that, but it's a hell of a lot less. And if I feel myself going in that direction, I stop, I notice it, and I back off from it.
Yeah.
I don't get stuck there.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Ooh, that's so
before,
good.
yeah, I'm a different person now because of all the things we've learned together, all the things we've done together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been very beneficial for me. Yeah. And
That's
for
huge.
Willis too. I think there's a bleed off effect. You know, you affect people around you, whether you realize it or not, you know, you just can't help it.
Yeah, it just gets like the tentacles, you know, they spread through. Um, so we that's amazing, by the way. I don't want to not acknowledge that. Congratulations,
Mm.
like everything that you've created for yourself, and for Willis too, and just everything. So we can go into that all day. Um, the praising and whatnot. So we've gotten physical, we got nutritional, and then so along the journey we discover this guy. His name's Jim Fortin. Jim, if you ever listen to this, thank you for all you do. We have
Thank you, Jen.
yeah, right, like the podcast. He has the podcast. We listen to it. I listen to it. I'm pretty sure one of us introduces one to the other. You dive into Jim's programs. Jim's programs are amazing. I hope the listener checks out all of the content and everything like that. I check out the program. We go through it. There's the opportunity for me to become an NLP practitioner. I end up hitting it. And then we decide, hey, this is something we want to explore. So before diving into why you wanted to explore NLP and mindset stuff with me, how was your experience diving into mindset and vision and language and all that kind of stuff? What did that what was your experience getting into this deeper stuff? Because most people don't even make it, you know, they'll make it to the gym and then, like, you know, to exercise, and then they'll go back into their old habits, and that's the extent, is just that cycle of the gym. None of them, not too many, excuse me, make it to the mindset, or they just completely skip the physical part and they go for the mental emotional. So what's your experience with all that been like?
I think because of the NLP thing and the stuff that came before it, but the NLP thing in particular, um, it's taught me that, hey, there's a way to talk to your brain to get better outcomes. So I approach it in a very straight on way now to stay present. I know what to tell my brain. I know now that if I do things in a certain way that have to do with habits and specificity and stuff like that, it's just easier to achieve outcomes that way. And I approach things in a different manner now because I get better results if I approach it in that manner. And you can
So
apply it to anything.
so before, what was more of the struggle? Was it that you were scattered, unfinished tasks, overthinking, procrastination? What was the before
Oh
we
yeah,
started
the
working together? What was
procrastination
that
thing.
like?
That's always interesting is I wasn't like an absolutely huge procrastinator, but that was there. But so it's been easier to not procrastinate. You know, it takes away the procrastination. You just kind of bzzz, and whenever my brain would get into the bullshit place, I don't want to do this, I can move my attention. There's different tools. That's the whole thing about NLP. You get tools, you know, anytime we're learning about ourselves and getting into this type of training, you give yourself tools. And another thing is that you have to practice what you're learning. You can't just say, oh, I know this, I read this, that's great. No. You're going to regress really fast. You have to practice every day. You have to be consistent. If you don't do it every day, you got to do it. You know, you'll know when you'll say, oh yeah, I think I learned something about that. Duh, maybe I could pull it out and use it, see what's that all about. Yeah. Because this is new. We're not born into this way of thinking, doing things. NLP should be like a life thing. Everybody should learn. We should learn it, how to talk to our brains, but God, you can dispel so much bullshit in your life just by better accessing your brain. We'd be a whole different bunch of people. I don't know how that would be, but the human condition would be totally improved. Yeah. And but it's not comfortable work all the time. It's not like, oh, I read this is fine, okay, I got it. No, you're going to go to places where you feel genuine discomfort. You're going to think about things about yourself. You're going to be asked questions. So it goes deep. So you have to be willing to go deep. You have to want to stick with it, and you have to want what's on the other side.
Yes. That's the biggest thing. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because what I've noticed, so in the difference between fitness and NLP and mindset and this communication with self, with fitness, when I was in athletics in university, it was very easy to get the participants to do what was needed because they were athletes, they were students, they wanted to win games, they had a purpose behind it, right? And if they didn't, then they would be held accountable because they were on this routine, they were in this hamster wheel, this loop. With general population, we don't so much have that. We can choose to go to the gym, we can choose not, we can choose what foods we have, what we don't. And it's so easy to get off of that loop of improvement with this NLP thing, like you said, right? So it kind of it's the mirror, right? It forces you to look at yourself and what's working and what's not working, what's good and what's not good, and what you think and feel about those things. And then you learn how to communicate a lot better, because sometimes we tend to take a really clear window and muck it up with black paint or black shit. It just depends. So what were some things that you were skeptical of? Because there was moments where things got uncomfortable. Before we did any of this, before we talked about anything, was there any skepticism along what this type of work was and what it could do for you?
One of the reasons I came into NLP, because I was just damn curious. I'm just a curious person. So it was like other people in our group had done it. They were having wonderful successes.
Yes.
You were telling us about it. And it's like, I think I want to learn about this. And during that particular time, say the 12 months, I don't want to go into it deeply. Before that, there had been a lot of disruption and trauma in our life. So I thought this NLP thing would help me with that, because my brain was in a real, I don't want to say a bad place, but traumatized brain, disrupted brain, life events, all of those things. I'm curious. So I said, okay, NLP, I'm going to give it a shot and see how it can help me. And it surely did. It brought me to better places. It kept me present. It gave me so many tools that have helped me. If you're coming in from just the exercise perspective, you want to be more physical with your body, to train your body, you want to do things with weight and all that, having this kind of talking to your brain is going to help so much, because it's going to cut through all the bad talk, all the stuff. Because any thought you can think a good thought just as well as a bad thought. A thought is a thought. So why tell ourselves constantly all these bad stories? I look like that. No, replace it. So that's what NLP does too. How to get the good stuff in your brain. These are the stories to tell yourself. These are the habits, and then it just helps so much. It makes life easier. That would be the good word. You might have to go through some shit and discomfort, but it's going to make your life easier. You're going to learn about yourself if you continue on the track and go with the whole thing and let Eric be the guide and be open. You have to be open to the process. Things might be strange because it's different work. It's brain-based. It's a bit odd. We're not like sacrificing animals or anything, but it's different. So you have to stay open and allow and take it in and reflect read up, think about things, do the work, and give it a shot. Just give it more than a try. Do the work. If you do the work and you show up, you will have whatever you deem as success. It'll happen.
Yes. And so with that too, you mentioned it's uncomfortable work. There's things that are going to pop up, right? And I remember with us, there were different events and different things that you didn't want to talk about. And we didn't have to talk about those things because with this particular work, and you still got results that were able to clear and rectify those things, right?
Yeah, because your instructions would be something like, you know what those events are, go to those events and like follow the instructions. So no, you don't have to lay out all your laundry forever. You know, do the work, be open, be receptive to the process. If it gets uncomfortable, go there anyway, you know, because if we give up on ourselves when things are uncomfortable, fearful, all of that, you won't get what you want. You won't make the progress that you want. Like, and learn this early in life. Like, learn it early. Yeah. Not till, you know, when you're a senior. Not to, learn it before the bad shit comes up, when you're forced to look at it. That's what happens with people. You know, things like divorce and just horrible things in life. And then you have to look at yourself and examine yourself and do all this. Yeah, you're forced at that time. Yeah. But if you do that before, if you're kind to yourself and you learn something new and you take these steps, like, that would be like the mind-boggling thing. That's why this is life work, not just, oh, I'm in a shitty position and I got to try something new work. Yes. No. And if you're raising children, you're raising a family, you're a young person with children, all of this, it's going to flow. Like, think about the people we would create just by thinking differently. Good God, you know.
So it's interesting you mentioned that, because this work then affects others than yourself.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying as well?
Yeah, because... and it does. And it's not like I have to go and preach it, or let me tell you what I learned today, or you're going to do this. No. It's because you're becoming a different person, whether anybody notices or not. You are, because you'll think differently, you'll approach things differently, you'll be motivated differently, or because it's like, okay, I understand that if I want this outcome, maybe I'm not that attached to it, but this is the steps that I need to take, or this is how I got to get there. You might be getting off course or whatever, but if you can always bring yourself back, you're never lost. You don't. That's what it is. You never lost, because this is where it gets deep.
You got it.
Everything that we have is inside. Yeah. So, that made me all excited, but you get to that point.
Nothing outside of you.
No, we all have what we need inside of us. It's just how to access it, how to realize it's there, how to access it, and how to work with it.
And let it be there, because a lot of times we don't want that, because then what do we have to blame? What do we have to put all of our stuff on? It's not
just us.
It's just us.
Yeah. I mean, it's just us. That can be real ugly too, you know?
And if we need anything, then it's nothing outside of us. And once we realize that, it's like, wait a second. It can be scary in a moment, because then it allows for so much possibility. But your experience, what does it do? It empowers you, right? It gives you,
it's extraordinarily empowering on all kind of levels. And that's one of the things I remember. And I have notes, because I'm an accountant. I have lots of notes.
Yeah, of course.
So it says one of the things I wanted out of NLP was to be a better creator, whatever that means to whoever's listening to this. Yeah. And so I maybe that can be broken down into, I wanted to get more out of life,
Yeah.
or I wanted to get what I wanted out of life, or I
Yeah.
wanted to figure out what I wanted so I can get that out of life.
Yes.
You know, you get more of like laser vision when you start to do this kind of work.
Yes.
Even if it feels messy, we exist in possibility, nothing but a possibility and abundance. It's all around us.
Yes.
We just have to break through the fear and the bullshit to be able to access it and go to those places.
Yes.
You know, maybe this is, we're getting into woo land and people might think, oh, but no. This is what is part of life. This is like a whole bunch of life that sometimes people don't get to think about or experience because we're not trained. There's no instruction manual when a kid pops out of your body. Here's your kid, here's your instructions, put the two together and you'll be good to go.
Right.
No, all the alarms are going off at that point. I can hardly deal with myself. I have a child to raise. My life is changing. What do I do with this person? If we had a better means of training ourselves up, yeah, we could give more to others. That's what it's about too, being able to give more to others and let it be easier.
Yes.
Life becomes easier if we learn how to talk to our subconscious, access our subconscious, talk to our brain directly. It just becomes easy. You might hate it for a while or feel like, oh, this is just too different to handle, but no. It's worth hanging the course. You will get more out of life for doing this type of work. If you decide to stick with it, if you can face yourself.
Yes.
If you just can't bear to face yourself, it's like, I can't go there anymore. I really hate this. Is Eric's fault. He's making me, I hate this, and this is this other trainer's fault, and this is never your fault, because like really, but no, it is all on us. Accept that. Go forward. Have a good life. Have more fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all you. It's all me. It's all listeners. It's all you.
Yeah, it's all us. Yeah, you need to just give it a shot. Take some chances. I always felt that I wanted, with NLP training and with exercise too, but more of NLP because there's not weights that I'm lifting over my head. You know, it's not like I'm gonna. So I figured if NLP, if I wouldn't like spontaneously combust, my head wouldn't fall off, die in front of Eric, have any of that, I figured none of that would happen. So I was good. I was good to go.
Yeah.
You know, none of that was going to happen. I was pretty damn sure. So I was going to like stick to it.
I mean, if that stuff doesn't happen, you end up being okay pretty much, right? You know, like.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was safe. I felt safe.
Yes.
That was a good word too.
Yes.
Safe. I was willing to go to whatever thought process I had to do, answer questions, because you make us think about things, or we do timeline therapy or even meditative processes, or all of these things. Like, here's some tools, and you gobs of material, lots of things, lots of learning tools, lots of things to learn, to read, to listen to. I don't understand this. Well, go read about this. Think about it this way. Ask me some more questions. You know, you get out of it what you put into it, like anything else.
So there's no, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. There's no lack of resource for you as a client. So as you come in, it's not like, what the heck am I doing? I'm not just here, and you're not just lost, you're being guided. It might be an uncomfortable journey along the way, but you're being guided. And if there's a lack of understanding, you can still, there's stuff to explore, but then two, you can ask questions. You said that you were safe. So it's like, you're not just a floating log in water or in a hurricane or anything like that.
No, even if I was confused, like, what are you asking me, Eric? I don't understand your question. I would say that, and then you tell me, and maybe you had to tell me 3 times. It's like, oh, really, that, you know, or something.
I got to get my words right, y'all. That's all it was.
but no, tons of resources, lots of things that make sense. Like, think about it this way. This is what we're doing here. This is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm asking of you. We're doing this because your brain thinks way, and this is what we got to get, we're getting to your subconscious. We're getting to the real essence of what it is, and yeah, it's not straight. It doesn't feel straightforward at times because that's just not how it works.
True. It's very, very true. So what were some of the breakthroughs that you experienced? I mean, you just mentioned quite a few. There are a few that I want to highlight. Which ones come to mind though when I ask that question? Breakthroughs.
Oh, I had breakthroughs with my body, like pain. I was carrying a lot of pain in my body. And when we talked about why is there pain in your body, what could that mean? We carry things, we carry emotions, we carry memories, we carry feelings. It's in our bodies. Things need to be released, allow, accept, be grateful for, and release. And it went away. It went away. That pain went away. That very specific discomfort or pain, after we talked about it, did whatever exercise we did, it was gone. It released. It was like, I'd say it was like magic. So it made me think, oh yeah, that shit was in my body and I didn't know it, So you know what? I don't let it get in there anymore. I tell it. I talk to my body. Other things. You just learn so many different things. And we had work breakthroughs. Willis and I are accountants, and efficiency is really big. Organization efficiency is very big in what we do. And so the first breakthrough, I won't explain to it because it's a simple thing in a way, but we hadn't thought about this little simple thing. And it was a major efficiency thing. It's like, holy shit, why didn't we do this all these years ago? Because my brain wasn't in that place. My brain did not allow me to go there. But with an open brain and an accepting, and it's like, okay, we're going to see where we can go with this shit. Boom, there you go. Here's one for you. And Wills was like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. And we're like, yeah, look at all this, and it was just a simple thing. And then other simple things like that have come out of it because I've allowed my brain to stay open. That's what it is. You got to be open. You got to be calm. You got to stay quiet sometimes. You can't have the little chatter all no.
Not happening. It doesn't work like that. You got to be so what I'm hearing is not only was work affected, relationships were affected, but a lot of this, the change originated from the quiet down, the stillness within yourself.
Yeah, I had to quiet down because of the specific place my life was in when I started this. Actually, I started it on my birthday, and because I figured that would be the gift to myself. So I started it on my birthday, and it did what I want. It caused me to focus and calm my brain down because my brain, it was traumatized and it needed help. And I considered this training help. So it calmed my brain down. It helped it. I trusted myself, and I allowed myself to stay open and accessible and allow and help to come into my life. And so it did.
Good.
And it's been nothing but positive because that feeling has stuck with me. What we started off, I did not regress. I didn't go back to that place I was. So yeah, I've made progress because where I was, it would have been horrible to stay. I don't want to use the word stuck, but if I didn't offer myself the opportunity or the way to move forward, yeah, I would have stayed traumatized and all of those things. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that things are perfect and like, but no, you know how to deal with things more. It's a tool.
And that's
because,
and so that's the beautiful way to look at it. I think is it's a tool. It's not the end all be all. This is you're an infinite being, right? Things keep happening, and this is allowing you to.
This is a life tool. This is a big deal. It's not just, oh, let me see what this thing is, what can we do, because you probably asked me before, who is NLP good for? Or you could say, okay,
Yeah.
self-employed people, because if you're self-employed, you have to make money. Nobody's telling, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
People that work on commission, all these people that have to be heavily motivated. But then back to, let's make better human beings. This is a life tool. These are the things that people need to know: how to help themselves, how to help their children, how to help their family. Because if you yourself can become a better person with whatever life tool you're using, it's gonna flow. You can't help it, Yeah.
Ooh, that is, ooh. So it helps in every, I don't even know where to go with that, because
I don't know where to go with that crazy shit.
That was so good, because I mean, we've talked about how it hit your health, right? Talking to your body, pains going away, you're able to move, bringing energy through. We've talked about your mind, how you were able to release your trauma, how you don't beat yourself up anymore, you keep yourself open, how it's affected different relationships, not only with Willis, but with others in your life, your kids, your grandkids, how you interact with them. Oh, I know where I can go. It's hit work, right? With changes that have made things more efficient and better. And I would imagine it's taken stress off of it. Here's the one that I'm thinking of. With chaos going on in the world and things happening in the past, it was really easy to get scattered and caught up in that kind of stuff when there's a lot of moving parts happening in life. And that's just kind of how life is. Sometimes it's a lot more smooth. Sometimes we have a lot of moving parts. So what differences, what breakthroughs did you notice when there's a lot of things going on in life and it just doesn't seem like there's time for anything?
Yeah, I don't get caught up in that bullshit. Don't. I mean, to put it to you bluntly, maybe I would have to a greater degree before, but hey, I know where to go within myself. I know what to do to calm this down, to become quiet, because that's how I knew I was having a problem or my brain was in a space when we started other than I wanted it to be, because I couldn't calm it down. I couldn't get it to go quiet, to settle it down, whatever the word is, meditate or whatever. I could not become quiet. And I had lost that ability, and I felt that was a very, it was detrimental. And so this work helped me regain the ability to become quiet, to block out all of that stuff, to not get caught up in the masses, in the stuff that makes people crazy, to get in that grind. Everybody needs to know how to get out the grind, and it doesn't have to be, let's get loaded, let's do crazy physical things. No, it's in yourself. Look in yourself. It's simple, but it's not, because you have to go through the process of getting there. And then you could say, that's just outside of me. I'm not that. That is not me. No.
I knew we were gonna have golden nuggets, Esther, but man, you're bringing peace to the podcast, to me, I'm sure to the person listening right now, because it's true, right? It's all just within.
It is all within, and you just have to figure about, what does that mean to you, how to get that, how to keep that in your life. And this NLP thing was big. It's kind of like, if you're on the track, it'll help seal the deal. It'll help get you where you want to go.
Yes.
But you gotta like practice. It's a habit. All this stuff is habit, because we have to. So we have all these crazy things in our life, and neurons are laid down, and all we have to create new brain pathways and new habits and new stories for ourselves. Do things that serve us instead of not serve us, and this helps with that.
Good. Are there any other specific results that are coming to mind that you experience with this? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, everything that you mentioned is pretty huge. I mean, on so many different levels, it seems like you were able, and you have, and continued to shift, right? Like, you made your shift and it's maintaining. It's not like you went into the gym, you lost your 20 pounds, you stopped working out and you gained 30, right? Like, you're maintaining these, and it's been
maintaining
5-6 months since first session, and it's been a couple of weeks since our last, right? A couple of maybe
Yeah, I think
2
it
months
was
since
in
our last.
July, and end of June was the last time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
something like
July,
that.
August, and so about 3 months
Very
even.
beginning of July. Yeah, yeah. So no, you have to carry it forward, because if you forget what you learned or what you went through, like really, you know, you did all that, you can't just forget about this stuff, even if you just use little bits of it or stuff. I know NLP is important to me when there's chaos, and I don't want to say like, oh, I never get caught up in chaos, but to deal with chaos and things going off track and your life going sideways, you have to stay flexible.
Yes.
And you have to be able to be receptive to change, be receptive to something new. You have to be able to bring yourself back in, and brain work helps with that. It helps, like, oh yeah, oh, like, oh, and it's like, no, you stop yourself. It's like, no, this is how we do it. And you go through the steps and you wind yourself back in, and there's no more chaos then. And you might have to do that again and again until things calm down, or you can work, you know. It's just, you have to be able to work through whatever you consider chaotic, and stay on track, whatever that means. But sometimes people can't do that because they haven't been shown that there is a way to handle yourself. The brain does not have to explode when something that you didn't expect to happen happens, or life doesn't go this way, or there's this really horrible life event, you know. And yeah, your brain might explode pretty good for a while, but do you want to stay in that place? You know, it's a choice. Yeah, this shit is all about choice too. Yeah, it's 100% about choice.
100% about choice,
Yeah.
right? There is, from not only with my program that I run, but whoever runs their own programs with NLP, for those that choose, it's all about choice. Because this is, I was telling somebody the other day, the type of coaching that I do, you know, in fitness, most people, and I say most being the United States more than likely, would consider that luxury, you know, would consider this luxury. And I say that in the sense because it doesn't, in their minds, it might not add to their daily living, right? Like, you look at most of America, we talk about it all the time, being overweight. Well, people don't look at the gym as a necessity as much as a luxury if they are living in poverty and survival, right?
Yeah.
Realize how much their health can go. So with that, especially in different gyms, people can make it into their head, at least I've seen this, where this they make it so that this coaching isn't for them, this investment isn't for them, because of whatever reason, fear, money, whatever it might be that comes up. But what you've stated is how much this affects life and how much this improves it as well. So what would you say to those who are like, they're kind of skeptical, they don't know, you know, whatever it might be? I mean, up to this point, they've said, I love everything that you say. And then you say, okay, well, now it's time to move forward. It's time for you to do it. And they're like, whoa, no, I'm okay. It's not my time. What would you say to somebody experiencing that?
If not now, when?
Mm.
And why? Why is it not your time? What are you doing in your life that it's not your time? Would you want to have a better life? Have you explored options? What are your options? Why are you holding yourself back? Because that's all it is. It's fear. We hold ourselves back from all kind of things. We have to be honest with yourself. You know, yeah, it sounds good to now, but I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't really want to go there. Sounds good, but maybe it's not for me, you know. But ask yourself, why? If not now, when? Do you expect to get better if you don't do something like this? You've explored it. You explored it for a reason. Maybe because you were just super curious and see what shit Eric's doing, you know. Or maybe there's this one little part of it and you said, maybe I could think about that. Maybe it would lead me to a better place. And if you got that little thought, explore that little thought, because you're going to be wherever you are unless you do something. You're gonna follow, unless somebody or something or yourself, you knock yourself off into a different path.
Right.
You know. So if not now, when? And why?
Mm.
Why is it not the good time now? We have to be honest with yourself. There's all kind of ways to make that. If you want it bad enough, if you think it will help you in any kind of way, because even a small insight, even a small candle flame that burns will open up so much, because that's
Mm.
how it starts, small. Because if you're not accustomed to doing anything like this, and you're wondering what could be different in my life if I thought about something in a different way, just a simple thing. What happens if I move my attention? What happens if I tell myself a better story? Do I believe all the garbage that's in my head? Why
Mm.
can't I calm my brain down? Just do it. Just open up the door a little bitty bit. We have to go there. Think, if you can't, if you're worried about, okay, if you don't want to do it for yourself and you have children or family or somebody that you're trying to help, maybe think, if I can help myself a little bit, maybe it'll help others.
Mm.
It will. You can't
Mm.
help it. Once you raise your frequency, and yeah, that's the way it works. I mean,
That's-
that's how I feel. Yeah,
yeah.
but I was always curious. I was always that heavily curious person. What is this? How can I help myself? What if I go there?
Yes.
What if I go there? And then when I was younger, we were forced to go to these places because of things like divorce and those kind of issues. And you're thrown into it. And you got to face all this ugly stuff. And then it feels terrible because,
Yeah.
you know, it's the first time. But if you can do it, if you can help yourself when you're not in a time of like absolute trauma or need, like, oh my God, my life is sucks, it's falling apart, I need something. If you can do it before you're that point, you're like, man, that you're really on track.
There was
Yeah.
a there was a little meme or something that I saw earlier that hits this perfectly. And it was talking, I think, about ADHD and how you have these little meaningless tasks, but if you don't do them right away, it blows up in your face. And it was the check engine light. And the person said they had their check engine light on and they just ignored it because they thought it eventually was going to go away. And it did go away 4 months later at 4 a.m. on the highway, except that wasn't the check engine light that went away. It was the entire engine, and then it needed to be replaced. So sometimes we get this little warning light that comes up and is saying, hey, address me, look at me, what's going on?
Yeah.
Low
Yeah.
fuel. And if we don't do anything, we're kind of, we say we're shit out of luck, but we allowed that to happen of what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. No, open the door as early as you can.
Yes.
Start to explore as early as you can. You will only become a better person in some manner, even if you don't realize it. You start up a change. It starts something up. Maybe you're unconscious. You have a great ability to access your unconscious self.
Yes.
Your brain gets to become rewired because you're making it thinking about things that are good stories instead of the bad stories. Some of this sounds just crazy when you're dealing with brain-based these brain-based methods, because it is crazy when you learn about how your brain works. It's like, oh, that's really weird. But it's almost, I don't want to say easy to fix, but yeah, it's very direct. It's
Yeah.
very straightforward. We're all kind of wired up there the same way for the most part. If I would have learned about, well, here we go with the I would haves, but it would have been intriguing to have either young people be brought up in this. Like, there should be something in schools, NLP, like some sort of brain-based thinking, critical thinking, all of these things, how
Yes.
to build a better human thinking. God,
So,
the general population would be so much better. Whether
so
you're poor, rich, anything in between, you
I'm
know?
glad that you mentioned that. Yes, because I've seen improvements with myself, with all those that I've encountered with it, who have gone through this process. You mentioned it. Who is this for? I have a client. We're about to get our podcast 18, I want to say. She was 17 when we started, somewhere in there. And then I think you're my oldest who has gone through NLP. So it's for a whole range of people. You
Really?
mentioned young, we should all go through this communication with the brain. It can be for anyone and everyone. Is there anyone specific that comes to mind that you would say, like, yo, you need to do this?
Good. No, I can't call a
Well,
specific.
not, yeah, not individuals, but like a type of
You must
person.
do this. Yeah. No, people that are on the fence, like if you want to, okay, in the field of productivity, if you're saying because you need to make more money, make a living, all these things that hinge, any kind of thing that hinges on productivity,
Yes.
whether it's I want to sell more whatevers, I want to be a better leader, I
Yes.
want to access more of my creative side because I'm in a creative artistic field.
Yes.
All of that stuff, because this is about allowing it, opening your brain and having very straightforward access and learning how to work with intent and possibility and the power of creating all of those things. I mean, you're
Yes.
just pushing the bullshit. That's what happens when you start to learn this stuff. It feels like okay,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. You
That's
don't
pretty
get caught
awesome.
up in the same things you get caught up in before. Or if you still get caught up, you know what to do instead of staying there.
And
Yeah.
if you know, so you might know what to do. In your experience, do you actually do it though? You
Oh,
know
I
what I
do.
mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you don't, yeah. Yeah, you might know what to do. But yeah, for having this training, no, I'm not going back ways.
Oh
No,
yeah.
no,
Okay, that's
no.
what I was. Yeah.
No. Uh-uh.
That's what I was curious about because sometimes, I mean, think about fitness, right? We know most people know how to eat properly, but am I really going to do it? I mean, I may be kind of stressed out. I need to have my sugar, right? So this, what you've experienced and how you've now created and decided to conduct yourself, there is no, I mean, there might be like, I don't want to say doubts, there might be challenges, but it's not like it's your go to
Yeah.
resort back to those old habits in any
No,
way.
no, no. Because nothing is 100%. You're not going to be 100% perfect at anything we do. And all these
Mm,
perfectionist people, that might be really good for perfectionists, people that have to be perfect. It has to be a certain way. Well, guess what? Even if you're a 70 percenter, you're really good to go here, and you
love
get
that.
to learn about, oh, I've fell on or off a wagon. I don't remember which way you're supposed to fall. But so you get off of track or whatever you call it, and then you say, hey, oh, I did this or that. And it's like, no, just pull yourself back in. Don't judge yourself. Don't hold this against yourself. Put bad mark on my list.
Right.
No, forget it. Just keep on going. Here you have your nice little life tools. Use your tools. That's what you learned this shit for.
Use your tools. That's it.
Yeah. Don't be a tool. Use your tools. No.
Ah, I like that. I like that. Don't be a tool, use your tool. Maybe it depends on who you tell that to, too.
Well, that could be real strange, but.
It works, right? It's like, oh, it makes you kind of think. Um, any other breakthroughs come into mind or anything specific around this experience of yours with NLP, with growth, the personal development journey in general? Anything like that come into mind?
Hmm, I feel like it's a door opener. I mean, once you know how to deal better with, it's like what's inside of you. It's like, I got this. You trust yourself more. You might feel whatever, but then you can always go back. You can always pull it. It's like, I can access this. I can go forward.
Mm,
I'm not gonna be pessimistic. I'm not gonna grow old and just like what. No, this is all about growth and going forward, and that's how I am. It's all about growth and 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 movement and energy. But that's the way I operate. You know, Other people will approach it from a different way, but I think we all end up in the same place. Well, we do. Depends on how you're going to get there. How's
so
your life going to feel?
I'm a big visual person. I like the pictures. I like sounds. I like making that up in my mind, right? And the thing that just really hit for me for you, what I saw was like, okay, say you're out on a farm, there's a problem with the fence, right? This is just how my mind works. And you fix the problem, you go about doing your business, and then it ends up breaking again. Well, you're not going to just say, F it, I can't do anything about it. You're going to fix it and you'll find a better way. And say it breaks again, then obviously you need to rethink it, become more creative. And it's not something that you just let alone anymore and you say, well, there's nothing that I can do about this. I'm just going to leave it here. No, it serves a purpose. So there's a reason why you have to go back, fix, make it better, or rethink the solution. And so what I'm hearing for you is you're no longer just saying F it, throwing your hands in the air, if that ever was the case. There is the notion of like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take care of it. This is who I am now. There is no not doing that which I want to do. That growth mindset is now implemented. It's not a fixed mindset. It's not a victim mindset. It is a I'm the boss, unstoppable mindset. And I'm the boss, quote unquote, however you want to put that, but that unstoppableness is within you. It's there. It's apparent.
Oh yeah, that's really what it is. And that thing about the victimhood. So hey, yeah, you get to see all that in yourself. Once you start to do this work, you get to say, oh yeah, I was playing the victim there, and then you think about that, or I was doing this here, and is why are you doing these things? Because for everything that you do, positive or negative, we have a reward out of it, whether we like to think about it or not. So
Yeah.
why was I playing the victim there? Why? And so you get to dispel all these things, and just, for me, growth is the option. Growth is my option to move forward. But I think it helps you see the other stuff in yourself. And when you start to get into the, I don't want to say other identities or behaviors, or hey, life happens, things happen.
Yes.
And, hey, in this situation, when this went sideways or whatever, I was like this before.
Yes.
Did it serve you? What did you get out of it? What was your reward? Blah, 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 blah. Can you do something different now because you have new tools, a new way of thinking about it? Yes, I will choose the different path, and it will get me to a better place. you know
Yes.
Anything that helps us think about things differently, better, or help us examine
Mm.
why we do things. What is our reward? Why
Yes.
did we do that?
Yes.
Why are you hurting yourself? And whether you want to admit that or not.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, and
yeah,
that circles back to what you were saying earlier about that radical honesty that one needs to have within it when they're in this work, because otherwise it comes back to bite you. I've seen that with quite a few people. Is it's not necessarily being honest with the guide and the practitioner. You want that, but it's more or less being honest with oneself. Because when that doesn't happen, oh, it's
no,
results
you're
are
really not going to
predictable.
move forward. It's like the blind spot, like Jim said, whatever the blind spot is. You might not even know that's your blind spot, or something jumps up and you're like, oh, that's what I was doing there, or that what it what it really means. So it helps you. The more we learn, the more we understand what's going on.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what you choose to do with that understanding is up to the person, truly, at that
Yes.
point. Can you do you want to move forward in this direction? You might say, oh yeah, I understand this now, that's the direction, but I really don't want to go there. Well, let's think about that. Or
Mm.
let's not think about anything, because I'm tired of thinking about all this shit, and you just get quiet. So, but you're not stuck, or you're not just in a place, because you've started to open the door and examine things.
There's always an option. There is,
Yeah,
and I don't like the generalizations and the infinitives, like it's always going to be this way. It's never like that.
yeah,
You're with me, you're against me, these absolutes, I'm not a fan. However, when you do believe that there's always an option. There's
it's
always a
always an
choice.
option.
You can always do something, right? Then it's like, okay, I can't always do something. I can't. There is always a choice. Even if physically you're bound up, right? You can still direct thoughts and you can still direct
Yeah,
intention in whatever
yeah,
direction it is that you choose.
yeah. I don't know. For me, if I find that there is no options, it's like, really, am I about to die? Is there no option? Is this the end? What does that
Right.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, this is amazing. So Anything else coming to mind to share during this experience, or any insights or anything like that's coming to mind to share?
Mm,
And I have one more question before we go.
I don't know. I don't think. I'm looking at my notes. It was it was better than I thought it would be. It's opened up a lot of doors.
Mm,
It's helped me in ways that that's led to other things. Like, you know, I can
yes.
always get myself moving on in other directions. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's awesome. So yeah, so you got what you wanted out of the coaching and more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it if you stick to it, if you tell yourself that I'm going to learn new things, whether I like it or not. It's going to open a door. You
Yeah.
just can't. Well, yeah, you can quit. There's always the option to quit, not start, quit, fear, all of that.
Awesome.
But go with whatever initial curiosity you have and just go from there and see what happens.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Last question that I have for you, Esther. This is the one that I ask all my podcast guests. There's a billboard and you have the opportunity to
Can you hear
place.
that noise? Is that noise just like killing it? Hear that noise?
I
Can you
do,
hear
I
it?
do hear it. It's
It's
our, I guess
okay on
it's all
your
right.
end?
Like, you can't do
Okay.
anything about it, you know?
No,
So those that
no.
are listening, apologies for the power tools.
It's power
But
tools. It's
this is,
concrete grinding.
oh, so this will be good. So there were different times before we go. Sorry, I'm gonna hold off the question one more time, y'all. Before we go, there are different times, right? So throughout the NLP process where we end up using hypnosis and something called timeline therapy. And it's very, very light, right? It's not anything like, for people that are listening, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, and there's things that we do to make sure that you know that nothing weird's going on, right? And with that hypnosis, what happens is we go and we revisit different events that have happened in life, and we will navigate different areas that you want to do, you want to change. And we make sure that you know about that before doing it. And it's not anything real deep, right? You come in and out with timeline therapy. Well, one thing that I noticed when we do timeline therapy, not only with Esther but with other clients as well, is when we address things that are challenging and we're nervous or whatever, there tends to be distractions that come about. And this has happened with everyone. So if you notice, how quiet has it gotten since I started talking, right? So sometimes when we don't want to address different feelings and emotions and events within us, what ends up happening is we end up causing something to distract us from doing it, to addressing it, whatever that might be. The same thing can happen with exercising, right? Like, I want to go exercise, oh, but this happened and this called me away and this happened, and I can't tell you how many times, right? Hey, it's time for the call. And then somebody's like, oh, I have to reschedule. Something came up. And it's like, wait, but you had this for a whole week scheduled. And then now something that needs your attention, you're going to take off what you planned a week ahead of for. I mean, sometimes it happens, but just like the sound, right? It can distract you, and then this, that, and the other. But when we bring our focus to something else, the sound is very minimal.
Not over here, but I'm glad it's minimal on your side. But I can work with it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
okay.
I didn't hear it to the degree that it was in, there, at least on the podcast. So maybe the person listening, they're hearing it. So with that, my last question is going to be, uh, if there was a billboard, there's a billboard, and it's going to be viewed by billions of people. Almost everybody on the planet is going to see this billboard, and you get to choose what words are on that billboard. What would you say to the world? What would you put up on
Oh,
there
really?
so that the people could see it?
I have to think real fast. I don't know. Maybe it would be something like never give up on yourself. Never, ever, ever give up. You
Never
know,
give up on yourself. Never,
no,
ever, ever. I love it because it's true. Commitment,
it's true.
consistency,
It's
and it's
true.
part of your story and what you experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh wait, I this noise is crazy. So that's my noise. That's my never giving up. That's the grind. Yeah.
That's the grind, man. And that's the perfect time to call this. I think we hit it pretty good. So,
Yeah.
Esther, thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
You're welcome.
It
Thank you.
wasn't
It's
as
been
bad
great.
as you thought, right?
No, no, it's fine. It was great. Yeah,
Excellent,
it
excellent.
was
So
exciting. I
with
hope it's
that, y'all,
helpful.
thank you for listening. Esther, any parting words for the podcast before we stop the recording?
No, have fun. Joy to you and everyone, and have fun in life. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all, stay tuned for another episode. Esther, thank you for being here. And of
Welcome.
course, Esther, you're unstoppable. And
You are.
those that are listening, thank you. You're unstoppable.
See you
Peace.
later, Eric. Bye.